Stream? Yeah. Essentially, right? Well, if it works, that is. Yep, seems like it's working. I'll be back with a standard run on abundant resources tough. That's the thing. One thing I might want to do maybe is play a few reasonable games as well. I feel like trying to get like, you know, six-figure scores would be cool. We got like a 500k run once, right? But for now, we're going to do another random run. Which I feel like, I feel like this is like the most fun way to play. At least to me it is, right? You get some variety, right? We got a run where we basically died today. Well, earlier. Yesterday, that's right. Prosperity and careful observation. So, careful observation allows us to ignore some of the signals, which is neat. It's not the most useful perk though. But the Victoria have a very nice arrangement of text for us, right? All of these can be useful in multiple ways. And the Dinder also have universal harmony over here. And culture hubs, right? There's also skill download over here, so you know, we have culture plus skill up plus post scarcity, which forms a nice little combination. You can certainly use to get much value out of things. I wish we had luxury instead of this though, but you know, we can't. Beggars can't be choosers. We gotta go with what we're given, right? We got to make it work. I would say knowing that, you know, there's less plants over here is a good thing. Right, so this ability here, abundant resources, if you can find some plants and you can actually use those abundant resources, it becomes extremely powerful. Because we can earn extra 2 for each export, even if it's to a laboratory. Right? So even if we're not using it very efficiently, it can still be done. It can still be used. So for example, we can do this, and we can maybe make a 2-way trade here for a robot, for a water, and then back. And then this 2-way trade will actually be more like a triple trade because of the extra credits that are being granted by abundant resources. That is a beautiful thing. Now, unfortunately, there are no colonies available yet for us, which is a bit of an issue so far. And any over here will be in the shadow. The other options. Now, there are options for quantum sensors, right? We could just enforce a colony here, but then, you know, where are we going to get both food and biomatter? None of these things around here would give that. It doesn't seem like the most effective way to start. I could just start with a simple hive world, which will likely be able to find some food for it. That is true. There are also worlds like these, right, which, you know, there are minerals available to make chips and goods, and then into there, making this sort of a manufacturing hub for this area. But it's going to be a hard time finding humans for this area if you go for water here, which I would love to do, but I don't see much use for it. Now, we don't have much in the way of being able to terraform anything. It's one thing this sort of setup just does miss out on, right? Given the text that we got given. So, most of these worlds are, you know, not all that useful. Let's have a look at what's behind us. We can actually see there are quite a few planets here, so the chances of finding food are significant. So I'm thinking we're going to go with this, right? I'm just going to hope and see if we can't get some food. There's one option. I mean, there's always going to be, I guess that's out of range, right? You're going to go to October, which means that we will lose out on lots of money if I do this, but I think it's necessary because I don't know if we indeed get access to biomatter here. Oh, we do. Alright. Well then, you know, this is sort of the way to go then. Especially since that biomatter will have abundant resources, right? That should make things a little bit easier to support. Alright. Getting a food plant to successful requires water input over here, which could be possible, but it kind of depends, right? Getting an import hub requires lots of things, actually, right? Like, I could try to make this happen as well. It kind of depends on finding minerals up here. So I wouldn't know if that's the right answer. But getting 3 science output seems like it would be a little bit much to start off with, as it will be too expensive, really. So we'll go with the other 2 missions for now. Abundant resources is a strong thing, but it's not quite strong that you can just go for science on top early. At least not if you're not really lucky, right? Well, there is an option for minerals here. Well, that would make this quite good then. Like, I do like this idea, mostly because we also get this this ability here. And if I made more, then we could perhaps get access to a biometer lab, which would be quite good. I don't know if it's reasonable to try to go for one, but I don't mind it too much. Alright, we can get access to... And I guess we connect this next. I only get 7 income though, which is not a whole lot, but there's that, right? So it's alright. Yeah, we're not going to. We're going to intersect things anyway, no matter what I do. So you can get 8 science here later from the Vittori thing, which is good. That's a large amount of science. Let's start with. Let's get this 2-way trade up. And get this 18 up, and there we go. So we end up with lots of biomatter available, which we could use in places. We could also make water here, which might be better. Is this an actual guaranteed use for the water in here? Yeah, I think that's just a stronger measure. Stronger choice. Well, this is disappointing, right? I was hoping to make good use of the asteroid, but apparently we can't. Alright, well, too bad for that. You get 8, which isn't quite enough. Okay, there's an asteroid here which we could want. Well, the difficult part is making good use of asteroids. I might want to scavenge. For now though, we'll just... There's no asteroid here either. I was hoping for one. Sometimes you actually want asteroids over planets, because it's... Oh, you know. Okay, so... I want to use this, right? We want to get ships here and perhaps like another colony here. And I'm not sure where we're going to get the food. Like that is going to be out of range by far. Well, you know, there's that. But again, this is going to be slightly out of range, so... I don't know. Like surely, well, we can connect this here, so it's fine then. Yeah, that's all right. Could even do that and go for, but then we increase our empire size too much. I think we go for the 18 here. And get 18 output here as well. And then hopefully be able to use the robot. I'll just output this here. And get the asteroid and the person in and the water in. Alright. So that's okay. There's like 3 people here that we have not yet used. But I mean, we can send in 1 here. This creates more water, which is good. Because it can semi-send up, I suppose, later on. I I might want to do this in such a way that we actually... I wish I had a way to make food for you, but I don't. I guess we can do this though, which is better. This is another two-way trade, and we get an import hub here, right? So, you know, there you go, there's the import hub we need, right? Unfortunately, we don't have any area where we're actually producing things in such a way that it's amenable to... I guess we could make a robot instead, though. No, we'd actually have 2 robots near each other? Maybe 3? We could do something like that. And that would still not be terribly great. Because we'd still have this chip that we're making that doesn't really have many places where it can go. But there's like 3 forge worlds next to each other. I'm like, we should be able to do something with this, right? What if I did this the other way around, though? What if I make a good here? Doesn't that strike us as better? I guess it does, right? I also get like 3 value here points, right? So we can do this, and then that, and then send you. Make it 30. It's an okay amount. Still not good enough to get any farms upgraded though. So I'm still looking for those. But, you know, at the very least, the setup of plants here does work by itself, right? Like, it does work independently, which is nice. Now, it does not, however, give us any ability to get enough food or water or this general area to succeed. We seem to be in a bit of a pickle with regards to that. Maybe not though. There's your water. Here's your food. Alright. I'm guessing that's how we go about this though. I wish there were more ways, but... like 10... there. I wish there was a way we could do this without... I guess there's not any really... like, I wish there was a way to do this without spending so much on... I guess I can spend 18 here. No? The final month? Getting us a successful ocean world? Which is actually a good thing, because we want to try to improve plants as much as possible for income purposes. But what I would really like is like some way of, you know, connecting this up. But it's like slightly too far away, right? Anyway, this will work. Providing a two-way trade and providing some good income. Now the unfortunate part is how do we get... like, I guess we can like two-way trade here as well, right? Now that would work. I started out with this Earth-like, right? It was my first planet. It was built blindly, so it makes a bit of sense that we don't get anything out of it, but it does feel a little bad that we did, right, end up not getting anything from it. But it was the least risky play. The thing I really desire really is some kind of income-making thing. And there is a chance we find that, but it's pretty rare, so... perhaps it's not a good idea to try to go for it. Also, this food planet here needs another output if it is going to become the successful world. Which actually it can be. Which means we should do that because that's the only mission we've got right now. Of quite a strong move to try to do that without hitting like the 16 too early, right? That's that. But I don't think I want to do that at all. I think I'd prefer to do another scrapping operation, getting us 2 scrapping operations, and then sending a lab in here, which will be quite expensive to run with all the long connections that we're going to have to make, right? But it will have 3 ore and up to 3 humans, so it will be quite effective. Speaking as a lab, right? Well, anyway, let's go here and obtain necessary chips and then upgrade the farm. Alright, so we get access to Dender. Colonize new plants, which is a good one to do. We could also try to get 2 more import hubs, which shouldn't be too difficult, all things considered, over colonizing planets. And in doing so, that should enable 80 credits, which should be enough to get our science output up afterwards. That's the general hope anyway. Let's have a look at what this is. Oh, look, we can get 2 goods here. Actually, one part of the way to a successful thing. The other thing we could do is establish a museum which will use up humans. But there's no other humans to put in there, so it's not that good by itself. But 2 goods? That sounds pretty amazing to me. That frees up this forge wheel to do something different. Which would be neat. We could do something different. What else? Well, there's the option of sending a good in here as well. They got 60 income, which is a nice amount. That's actually enough to keep building, right? It's sort of the goal, usually. Make a 2-way trade here, but it's already receiving 3 things. Like, really considering, like, hammering on that Aphorian mission as fast as humanly possible. Would be my main goal here. Can we, like, do some kind of lab here? Maybe water, but it's a bit difficult, really, to get much of a lab here at all. We have... Oh, we don't. We do get access to quantum sensors now, which is probably a tech I want. Yeah, definitely a tech I want, I think. Just unlocking this. The other thing we might want to try out is culture hubs, because of the ability to send culture places makes it much easier to get things like import hubs at all. The more interesting fact is, can we get access to something that helps us? That's another one. Well, I don't know about that. Right? Can we get access to something that helps us make water? Yeah, but what's the point of making water here? I guess there's like ore here that would want it. But like these are difficult to... This is tricky to do, right? That's actually obstructed. This is out of range. There's not much in here that really cooperates with each other, right? We could swap some things. We could maybe make things work. Which we unfortunately do not have unlocked at all. So I don't know if I actually want to even go into this whole area over here. The planets up here are difficult to link together because like the need for people is in the back here all the time, and the only people producing plants require biomatter, which is nowhere to be found, really. Like, I guess it's not entirely true, but it's all out of range, which sort of like puts the damper on things a little bit. That's a smidge, right? So yeah. Where do we find the ability? I guess I could do this though. Like it wouldn't be too bad. We get the Aphorian quest from it. It costs 19, so we can't afford to do it yet. Yeah, so I could just scan once and then we would be able to afford it. Or do this, right? That's a bit too expensive though. So we got 15, so we got to scan for 12. Anything else I would want? No, sort of. This works, right? It's the quickest way to do the mission. There we go, we got 80 creds for it. I would actually spend half building these connections, but hey, you know. That's a thing. So one thing I could do is just build more biomatter, but like, to what end, right? I'd be consuming it, but we need like hyperlanes to make that all work even at all, so really a lab I want to go into right now. I mean, I guess we go for the ore. Like again, like there's not enough places to send it from. There's another problem. You can send in culture here, we'll create water here, but again, like there's no way of making a thing with like multiple copies of the same resource. It's really what I want to make a good lab, right? To make a good lab, we need multiple copies of the same resource, which we just seem to be unable to get access to. Getting a few points of science here and there is not going to help all that much. Really going to need something more than that. So everything seems unable to connect to this, which is a bit rude as well. We could connect here as well, like as another one, but it's like again, not super efficient. Maybe we do just go for ore here, but like, is there not something better we can get? With regards to ore on this side as well? Lots of these, right? There's loads of these, but can we get good value, right? For example, I could do this. And you might be like, well, you know, this two-way trade, that's another two-way trade. That's pretty awesome, right? We can get food from here. Alright, we can make a robot here. And we can make the necessary ore for that there. Sure, right? With this whole setup, all it does is create 2 chips and 2 humans for a lab, which is not all that amazing. What about the ore variant? We go for ore here, we go for ore there. We can get ore from there, and then just one in there, and that's also send it back. And still send back all the stuff, right? But we need to find a chip in the back, really, to make it work. But if we can make this work, we can get 1, 2, 3, 4 ores and 3 humans, which would all coalesce in here. Which, you know, that's not bad. Should we try for that? At the very least, I think so. We can get a big lab. We want quantum computing in the end, so there's something to be said for quantum computing. Yeah. It's a valuable thing. We can also gain lots of science from these relays, right? As we find them. There's 8 here and 8 there as well. Like 16 science in total. Not a small amount at all. Let's go ahead and start on these projects. Go ahead and build the bots anyway. Maybe hope to unlock some form of chip. Okay, this is excellent. We can get the chips in the back. That's exactly what I was looking for. Right, so I'm thinking we're going to start with this. Actually start out with building the necessary lab, because we have plenty of money. Because this unlocks the quest, right? Invent 2 new technologies, which I want, and let's make import hubs. Making 9 food is quite a high amount of food. Okay, so we get something cheap to run here, so we don't have to pay too much extra on the end of the year. It's a good amount. What we get? I think extra science. We've got plenty of money right now, so I still wouldn't want to continue making more. I have to cut that short, unfortunately, but creates a two-way trade. I can even send it out there as well. Now that's still a good amount, right? But more importantly, we now get access to the 8 science here. There was another 8 over here, which should unlock lots of things. Like we could take culture hubs or brain machine interfaces. Probably culture hubs if I were to guess. And then we can take quantum computing next. We have enough money, so we don't need to blow up plants for money this time. Instead I can just build around and get culture hubs up. Getting this up is quite nice here. Creating a set of successful plants, like a whole chain of them, which is a good idea. And I can proceed, making 7 science in here. Even maybe increase it even further, depending on. This might be tricky though, because we don't have any access to any biomatter here, which both of them desperately want. If I had some, this would be much easier, but we don't. We get the quantum computing to make lots of science as well, right? It's an easy way to make a large amount of science. I don't think I want to do these at all. Also make chips here, which those would work. Don't know to what extent though. There's a request for a good here as well, which would be nice to fulfill. Like if I could somehow make them here, that would be nice. Example, I could do ore into goods here as well, right? We'd have a secondary output here. Is that just slightly out of range? It is, right, isn't it? Yeah. About 5 pixels, right? So that's a bit of a disappointment, to say the least. And these 3 are like lacking water, but otherwise really nice, right? This whole area all filled up with research like this. You get 7 science out of a lab. Just that's a reasonable number. That's certainly pretty good. But it's not enough to really get lots of things done, right? If only I knew what was in here. But I can't just easily tell. So what we could do is we could like do this instead, right? Which has 2 options to go over the places, and then, you know, the bot, well, you know, build that here. Or even here, right? The thing is that if I cut this off, we don't have the human here, which is the problem. And the idea would be to make the goods here and then send the goods back, but it's out of range. So that doesn't work. That whole plan just isn't really very viable. We could do this, right? Just make a little triangle, but then the goods are still not being sent there, so we still don't have the human. But I guess this works, right? But it doesn't work with regards to getting humans in here. Which I want to know what these are, right? I mean, I guess I could build this up. It sort of ignores everything. But still, like, it's very costly. Not really what I desire to do. If only I could tell what's behind here, right? We could, but it's expensive. It's going to be costly in time, but I think I want to know. Look, there's an arid. What's behind there? It's hard to tell, but the lack of biomatter is a real issue. Okay, so we can get the 2 technologies tech. Or 2 technologies mission complete. Now I could also just build some more labs this year. That wouldn't be half bad. And the reason why it wouldn't be too bad is because we can do things like here, for example, we can make biometer work perhaps? Not really, right? I would like a biomatter lab to actually be a big lab because we have the ability to make biomatter to water and vice versa. So, you know, in here would be very nice to do, but there's no human available here. And it's been cut off by this connection here that was actually required earlier. And now we have lots of humans here, but no way to use them into a lab, at least not easily. This is sort of like, yeah. This whole connection cuts things off too. You can make a human here, but that would, you know, force us to 24, which would mean like huge budget problems. There's no easy answer, so I guess we do this. Got 3 additional science here. If I could somehow make it to the later part of the year, then we could effectively increase the science output by quite a bit. I don't know if we can though. Like for example, I could try to, how much does an extra lab actually cost? 13, yeah, I mean 24 is not that much more. So I might just want to continue building then. I would love to make some chips, for example, and do that into a lab, perhaps, over here in this area. I don't know. Right. Making this is kind of difficult. Oh, we could do a second water lab, that's fine too. No problems with that. Alright. Get 28 income here. November. Well, I really want to waste the asteroid, right? The thing is, getting the human for that is actually quite the challenge. I can get economic zones, which I think actually are hugely powerful, right? Do we want orbital labs? No, because we got culture hubs anyway, so... Also, I can make one here, right? There's no reason not to. Or at the least do that, because it's a real boon. Okay, maybe we just do this. Let's ignore the consequences, right? Because it's just like so many things that want a human here, so... Let's sort of try to fix things here. Maybe later, right? There are like lots of places that would want. Or you can get some relays that would be fine, right? And then it would just work. I don't think I want to do that yet because I want to connect things. If I could, for example, do this, you know, we get 3 inputs here. We can even get a prosperous plant there for our troubles. We get also 1 step towards the Euphorian mission. Which is a reminder required us to build 3 of those plants, right? There's with that. So we get a chip world here that could work. Not necessarily should work, right? Okay, this might help. If I... Yeah. This seems pretty good. So we send the asteroid. Actually, we could send this in there as well. The reason not to try to maximize the amount of things that are going to go out of here, because we get extra income here, right? And that should help quite a big deal. I'll try to keep our income up above about 50 so we can keep building. And let's get self-hosting AI right now, because it's still worth doing. Well, it's still worth doing. And I might want to try to get more labs in now. They're worth 5. Certainly at least one more would be good. Probably like over here. We can get a chip in here. So, you know, that makes you prosper. So it's actually not that bad. Like, we gain 3 back. And how much upkeep was this? Like 9 and like a bit more, right? 13 upkeep, where you gain 3 back, so it's only 10 upkeep for this. Not too spectacularly bad, that is. Alright, so we get November. We still get the 51. I think I want to get this asteroid though, because it's worth so much more. And I wonder if we can... Yeah. Fix this whole mess up, which is going to be a bit of an issue, isn't it? We can have economic zones, which can be quite strong. If I take, for example, this, we can get 6 more. And here's another 6, right? That just made like a bunch of income without having to do very much at all. So FlexiFab, there's a bunch of stuff here. Aphorian Tech, if we could get this for 4 FlexiFab, then it would be very good. But I think FlexiFab will sort of unlock this ability as well, right? It's a very easy way of getting... there's one here, right? You can just get immediately with it. How many other locations where we can actually FlexiFab for it though? So, like for an import hub, right? No. I can get import hub here if I want to from culture. I can just build a culture hub and that will be fine. I could even build one here as well. Or both directions here actually. I don't know, it's like sending out 3 water anyway, so it can't send out any more anyway. But what do these things want, right? They want like 5 imports or exports. They mostly don't want more imports or exports, they mostly want like trading partners, but this is just a very easy way of completing the mission, which I should probably do, because it's like doing this and then that just completes it instantly, which is, you know, that's sort of strong. Got a robot 6, robot lab. That should be doable, I think. I hope. And increase population for the vendor. And let's just get a few more colonies, right? But I don't know if we have time for that, considering we're in 3417. And also, every time we build the culture hubs, population actually decreases. This is easier to do. It's just like transport a few resources. But I do want to get the Dender missions further, right? Because getting more missions done means getting a higher score. It means getting little small things done, right? Getting more missions done means we can get access to these perks, right? These level 2, level 3 perks, like the tech discounts and all that sort of help. Which are flexible fabrications is like a big deal here. We can get costs 30, but you know, I thought that counts. Can we maybe get access some money from somewhere? Oh, this is a good amount. Let's get 82 here. And use that to upgrade various areas. Like this one's a given. And there's another one here. Look at that, right? And I can even do this as well, which would be quite nice. I think I'm going to do it. We can like get a two-way trade and get a chip in there too. Upgrading you feather, which that counts, doesn't it? If only made a way to make another bot in here, right? And the only way really is culture. We do have universal harmony available at some point. Getting the lab up would be nice, wouldn't it? But are these like 2 humans? Or 2 robots, right? I guess this would work. Where's the human going to come from? Like over here, right? This water requirement here is kind of nasty, but this would work. This water requirement there. Which that does help as well. I wonder if it's somehow... I mean, there are infraways eventually, right? I don't want to lose all that income though, because we do lose on income if I take that. I do get Genesis cells available, but can we get enough people before the Dinder? No, I don't think so. I should take this now, Genesis cells, because there's like lots of places again where we could use it. It costs 25, but we can get things like that done, which gives us 5 income back. This one just doesn't have any successful partners, so, you know, really we can send on more things, but it won't become prosperous from that alone. We can make biomatter there, but again, like there's no way of upgrading you, so we can't get that biomatter. If we had like an infraway to build from a slipway thing, from a ruin, that would allow us to do this. But that's a silted thing, so that's not going to happen. Just not going to happen. That I guess like information in general, right? We have like 2 places where we could use them very well, but that's not going to happen. Okay, so do we just go down to 51? Which is sort of sad. I got out of range, and trying to make this work, right? Trying to get those robots is sort of the hard part. And this is available, right, as well. Sure, but what do we get? Oh, it's not colonized, it says. Okay, so we can actually do this. I was like a bit fearing that we couldn't actually even do this, which would be kind of annoying. So here you go. Like, you get some robots, which is nice. Okay. Colonize you and make a 2-way trade here to make lots of money, which is very much necessary to be able to afford this sort of mess that we're going to do. There's like 1, 2, and 3. There's your lab. And we get a Vittori tech discount now. Now we get like access to sleep replacement for next year, which is actually going to be kind of awesome. Because that actually makes some significant amount of money, right? We can actually be making some money now. Which is nice, because that might enable us to build enough things to be able to, let's just that here, put that there, and then try to somehow build. The hard part is getting the robot in here, but I guess it will work eventually. I'm trying to get something that gets this colony upgraded, because if I can get enough colonies, then we can get this mission. Difficult though, right? We're in June only. There's no way to... I guess we could found this planet, but there's no use for it. How about this one? Again, it's not really all that useful unless we... Let's have a look here. Okay, does that change anything? Because there's like another nice hard pudding thing, right? That's another 2-8. Is that out of range? Oh, it is, it's annoying. I mean, we could do this, right? And that does work, but... What, 4, right? We can get that and that. Well, that's out of range. Oh boy. Even that's out of range. So these two Earthlikes being out of range makes things really difficult. As well, you know, this is nice. Man, this is like 2 inches every time, right? It's like, why? 2 fingers out of range. If that could be in range, we would have some perks. Are you out of range? Yes, you are. Out of range, out of range, out of range. Right, everything's just ever so slightly out of range, which makes it so we can't do anything here. Well, not anything super effective, right? I could do something like that, and that would work, but it wouldn't be very, very good, right? Because we would be throwing away the abundant resources, which is sort of like not what you want to do. So the opposite of what you want to do in these areas. I would love to actually be able to use the abundant resources, so do this, right? I guess we build a relay to make use out of them. That seems okay. In any case, let's go ahead and try to found these plants then, anyway. So we try to found them then. We should try to use the asteroids to be able to continue founding them, right? It's like a goods here as well, right? Maybe. Anyway, let's get that one so we can get 18 here. And this connection could be quite good, getting us 9 here. There's one over here as well that sends that in. This costs 25, which is a bit expensive. At the farm here, at 39, which is a good amount. Now, before we do that, we get the sleeper place and actually get 150 at income. The agro world, and then all the inputs combined should get us our thing. All right, and we get 40 credits as well, and a bunch of money, right? Colonize 9 plants. It's a lot of plants. We want to like consolidate now, so it's not a good idea. Let's get the other 2 things. Well, maybe only the remnants, the prosperous, I think, because it's like the other thing is kind of hard to do as well. You want to do culture and prosperity and things, right? But trying to do that might be difficult. Robots as humans, how good is that? That can usually be like a sleeper good thing if you can get lots of high out of it. That doesn't really appear to be all that amazing. Okay, let's send in a robot here, which, sure, right, but this can't send anything anywhere, right? And maybe just go for relays. So let's go ahead and build that. Whoop, build that lab. Oh, we already built one. Well, they can build another one. Is that too bad to build another one? Well, we get like 4 more sets of robots, right? Like slightly out of range things, but I don't think that's too bad to do. No, I think it's fine. We got the relays. Wait, hold on. No. We can do better than this. I think I'm forgetting something. Why are you labbing that stuff when we could be labbing biomatter instead? Which actually produces more science because we haven't gotten a biomatter lab yet. Right? We've got chips here, we've got robots there, we've got water there, we've got ore here, we've got biomatter here. We have all the labs now. Doesn't that seem awesome? We've got every lab we can get. Now, if I just position this so that we can get the robot in here, then we can actually get stream splitting that or build another one, right? Either way. Either way would be good. I don't know if stream splitting is all that amazing for us here. Seems alright though. Have a culture hub. So the most important thing would be universal harmony, but trying to get a Dendro tech upgrader. We need remnants to prosperous for you. Could I make that happen? Potentially, right? Potentially we could. Let's build that one more lab so we can actually get. So I can upgrade this fairly easily. We should upgrade you to prosperous, sure, but that wouldn't be a remnant. There's a remnant here which is already at prosperous. There's a remnant here which will have a very hard time doing so because of this thing's access to no goods. I could send that in, but then this has no access to water. And we could try to make it like so that it has some access, right? It'll be difficult to get it there. I mean, we have enough money, right? That's not the real problem. I can do a two-way trade here, which makes you successful. And then, you know, this provides access to a successful partner, provides access to water. The hard part is going to be, how do we get access to robots? Maybe not to that extent though, because it's... yeah, we can get goods in the other way, so we don't need this part at all. Because I make goods over here with FlexiFab and I have another FlexiFab up there. Well, this one might have a hard time getting anything, really. If we get water in here, then we can make it work, but... right. A difficult part of making water everywhere. Well, we'll try to connect as many things as possible, right? That's sort of going to be the challenge, really. We're going to have a double, though. There's no way around it. It's just too long of a connection. But you know, that sort of gets us very close to another prospering planet. What needs is one more import or export. Which I could just stream split, but in that case we probably give up on some of this tech. Which I'm not too enthused about. Because I would love to get some infraways and stuff, so let me wait with that and see if we can't infraway you. Well, this is a start, right? This was a very good start at it. So I gotta get some more water, right? The difficult part's getting the humans for it, really. Or anything else. Just the humans. Getting enough of those is gonna be tough. Get enough water in this area to make everything work. Everything wants water here. Literally everything. And you already have things, you just need more imports. And then you need a chip, and then you need water for the chip. It's like, it's kind of going in circles, right? But I mean, there is availability of this stuff, it's just hard to reconcile. 5% unhappiness here. I could just do that, but you get water in here. If I could just... Yeah, I don't know. Can we make it? Can we not make it? Real tough questions. You can certainly make more science in the last few years. But it might be too late. Right, we can only get like 4 more from every water I connect in here, for example, right? Which isn't entirely much. Like, what we're looking at is around 145 science right now, which is kind of not enough to do like everything we want, right? You can't do both postgraduate university skills and like all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All those 5 texts. That's too much. It's 110. It's like 200. It's like 240 science, which we don't have nearly that much. We didn't quite get to quantum computing fast enough at the start to be able to do that sort of thing. Just the start was too rough for that, right? So it's not gonna happen. But what might happen though is like a prosperous, right? What might happen is some other stuff. Let me just do this instead though. If I trade in a human here and then trade a box back, that is a second partner. And you just want one more? Get you another partner, that would work. That's still good to do though. It's just the lack of another partner that's going to be the problem. I can make you successful, then it would work. We don't repurpose yet because it's too expensive, right? I got water in there. I mean, there is a way. Trying to make this work, right? Trying to get this mission. A tough cookie, this mission. Certainly. Like, we can, like, get the water all the way up here. There you go, there's the water. I'm sure we can do stream splitting, but I think it saves so much money and time, right? Is this the thing I want? I don't want relays at all, really. I've only been building them for a bit, but maybe we want teleporters instead. Which might be easier to deal with. Might be cheaper to build in total, because all these long connections, like looking at all these relays, I'm like, I'm not so sure I want to be using relays. Because I might just want to get this, which is one more science, right? It's not too much more. It takes a little bit longer, but we get there anyway. That's fine, that part. What is the opposite of what we want to do, right? Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Should we kind of teleport to that? That's probably smarter. Like lots of places where we could use them, and it is going to be faster. this one as well, right? Needs some water. Lots of ways we could do that. Oh, can I just connect this? Oh, yeah. 151 cash. That's a good one. So let's actually grab teleporters instead, I think. Because they're both cheaper than infraways and do the same thing. Like, we need something not too expensive with regards to research points. That is a way to do just that. That'll be horrifyingly expensive. We can actually connect this into here, which produces the necessary chip. Here's your output. Now, you have only one partner, which is a problem. We have extra food up here though, which would be the second partner. This would be the third if we could get a box, which we can, just back there. So I believe this could potentially work and get the food. You have a second partner. All we need is a box, which we can get from there. There you go. That's the third partner. It's now all working. Now I've got this one. You just need, I think, 2 more partners as well. There's only got 1 partner here. Like this one, I guess this works. There's your prosperous planet. So there's 2 partners. So now it needs to send its robot somewhere useful. I guess in here, right? Would be okay, I think. So I might be like, oh, but we're running out of money, right? Well, not really, because I can just get 218 like this. These teleporters, man, they have like 6 running costs. Why are they so high? I don't know, but we get like another 2-way trade here, which is quite good. Get a food producing plant that prospers. That seems like an easy one to do. Speaking. 5 more import hubs. How do we do that? I want to be careful about where I position things, so I can actually get the reach. There you go, that's like the dinner tech discount as well. Which this should result in universal harmony. Right, and now we get lots of culture everywhere. If you can get skill of facilities and dissemination, we are golden. And we can afford both of them, but we can't afford post-scarcity with that. I think it's still good enough though. That's a combo and a half, right? We can get there. There's food needed here. I think would be quite excellent to give you that food. Alright. Already made a culture hub here, but it's a good thing to have this food here. Now, there's extra culture everywhere. You can't send it up here, but you can send it in there, which is a good thing to do. And then you could send it. Gotta be careful that I create like a chain of culture that goes in all directions, right? So be a bit careful of how we do this. So now a repurposing will make you a culture. I don't know if I want to go into this corner. I don't think so, because it's hard to send it back from there. We would require more things, so I'll just skip out on you. What I do want to do though is if we can get access to this back, then once this receives 2, it will produce 1. If I then give it a skill facility to produce 2 and then can send it back, and then, you know, same here and same there, right? We can send it into all sorts of directions. So is the goal, try to do that, do the same thing here, send in 1 here, so it's close, right? We can just build 1 little thing here. Try to like create like a culture zone, basically. I already sent this out. What we can do is we can create 1 more of these though. So this makes lots of money, right? So we'll not run out of money anytime soon. So that is a neat thing to know about. Here's your box. Which everyone knows is a smart idea to give it a box. If I could just... You only have Project Genesis, right? I guess you could make more stuff. With skill facilities, which are going to be probably dissemination, or... I want both, but... very likely like a year earlier, but we don't really have the money to do spending on anything but more teleporters right now. Is there any use for the green stuff? Both farms already have it. I guess send it into the lab, right? The green stuff lab, that's somewhere. All the way up here, but nah, probably not. It's 2 available, but it's like not in the right spots. I could produce water here, but I'd probably rather want to scale up facility it. In which case sending out 2 culture will also do, right? I'm trying to make this work though. I think that's a good start. Right. That does a thing, I suppose. There you go, have 2 more. And then it's already sending it there. Alright. We get lots of prosperous plants this way. It's like 349. That's a pretty nice amount. Now that's pretty lackluster, but we'll have to build a teleporter for it. A small amount of distance, but it's going to have to be done. So we get a successful world out of it. And then I can go culture dissemination, which should lead to lots of places now. Getting more culture, which is good. There's your input hubs. Increase the number of prosperous plants by 4. I think we can do that. Can we do 5 more import hubs? I think we can. I don't really want to increase my yearly science output any further. Seems like it's not really the thing I want to do right now. I'm intrigued that, oh, we can make another culture hub here. Look at that. You're always sending it there. I could do this. That's slightly out of range. Well, I guess we go this direction then. There's multiple directions you can go, right? You want to like send the culture in such a way that it goes everywhere. if we can at least, at the very least, help it. So let's go ahead and make some more prosperity, right? There we go, there's 2 prosperous plants. That's sending out water. That's another successful planet. Maybe I want to make it a little bit easier to connect in the planets to each other, though. Like, that thing would probably obstruct a connection here, which would be very cheap to build. And probably that's the recommended way we want to connect this all sort of stuff in. There's more water needed. Seems to be never be enough water. We want to do that via some different means, though. It could connect, right? But it's not optimal. Have a look. This should connect if I... does someone look like skill download, right? Which is sort of really big. There you go. Have that. Okay, so if I get skill download, I can now skill download all these things and we get more cultures. There's another one available now. I could send that over here and then I can even like skill down you and then you produce 2 as well. Skill up you, and now you also produce a second one which can go in here. This produces a second one, which now suddenly this produces 2 cultures, right? One which can go in there, which allows it to produce an extra one, which can also be skilled up, right? And suddenly there's like 3 cultures available there. There's like some stuff here that can be skilled up as well. Don't ask me where it's going to go. You're already repurposed, so there's no point. What I want to see is... yeah, we need to connect this over there, I think. Which I've included already by connecting things in a bit of an inefficient way. It's like... wait, is there a way... oh, we can send it in here, in this farm. Okay, apparently we made more import hubs. I don't know why I counted. That was the 4th resource. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we could have probably easily gotten more legendaries out of this as well, but... it seems to be a little way of doing that. I'm trying to do this in such a way that we get as many upgrades as possible, but it's a bit tricky to do without having to like, connect more things with more expensive types of slipways, right? This is already repurposed, so it can't. Yeah, already skilled up. You can't generate more. I mean, I guess you can send one here. So there you go. There's your prosperous plants. Now, let's go ahead and look at the task, right? Why not? There's no way of... nope, that's the wrong one. That's definitely the wrong one. We go here. Do more remnants to prosperous. Like there's like these, so it should be possible. It's a bit tricky to send them like to these places, right? There's like lots of stuff available there, but it's we need you to have a box. That's really what's going to unlock a bunch of stuff actually, because I would pop it to prosperous probably, yeah, and I would pop an additional culture in there, and suddenly there's like 2 available. There's like 1 available here, or 1, not 2. I think that's still good, right? We can get this area here, for example. So there's your 1 remnant, right? And you've got like a culture available here, which I should probably send in there, so we can get an additional one. And then send in here, so again, there you go, there's your 2 remnants to prosperous. 2 more remnants to prosper? Do we have 2 more in the Empire? I don't think we do, right? No, every remnant is prosperous, so I just decline these missions. Now I can scale this up too, and then that starts producing culture, right? Like an additional one, even though it's a colony, which is fine. We can go in here, which produces 1 more, go in here, which produces 2 more. We don't really have a way to get anywhere though. Yeah, producing a large amount of culture is nice, right? I'm trying to do it in such a way that we can get more out of it, but I think we've kind of run into the end here. Because we run out of time, right? That takes too long. I don't want to do that. But that's good. There's like 3 more prosperous. Just send it forth and back, right? That seems fine. We don't quite have enough skill up facilities to get culture everywhere, but we can get quite close to it. Like 2 culture everywhere would be ideal, right? I think the best thing we can do though is send out 1 here, because this one over here, they're like 2 in a row, which both have 1 culture. And get a skill up here, get another skill up there, and then there's like 2 more culture to be had. All of that sort of sends back and forth, right? And then I wonder if it's... I would want to send it in there, but you know, it's not available. I guess we just stack it up to 3, right? There's a couple other places here we could have stacked up, but I forgot that we can't build 2 in here, so... Yeah, and there's this one that's minus 6%, I suppose. Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, we got lots of culture things, so... That's nice as well. We got like 900 income suddenly. The thing with sort of culture spam like this is that you actually 1 year short, right? 1 more year we would have gotten a stupid score, because we would have gotten post scarcity with it, and that would unlock a bunch of legendary plants. Well, this is not bad, right? It's pretty close to like the culture bomb score thing that you can sometimes pull off. Or it's basically this, where you just sort of use skill up facilities with culture to spread it everywhere. Yeah, this is not bad. Right, look at that. Now I wonder, 42442, I wonder if I make a plan that's going to be more or less. Let's see. Because founding the planet puts us empire size up. Slightly less, right? Yes, energy-driven industry can create more culture as well. So if you have some kind of energy, which we did not, then this becomes easier to pull off as well, because you can gain 3 cultures instead of just 2. So you can increase it from 2 to 3, right? Right now, when we send in 2 cultures, we make 2 new ones. So we can't ever increase the culture. So it's quite difficult to like go through all the planets, because there's no like easy path through everything, because it's a random graph. So it's like lots of places where it's hard to, and also you have to go through colonies which don't, because they can't ever get skill up facilities. They don't ever double things. But yeah, like doing that was not a good idea. The last action, the founding another colony part. We have too much happiness, so it does not actually help increase the score, because like the cost from lowering the happiness from getting an additional place is more than the 400 points that we're going to gain from the empire size increase. I don't think there's like any locations where we can actually create another prosperous or successful at all. No, that's not true. There's still a Genesis project that we can do here to make you successful. I mean, it's a thing. Anything else? Don't really look like it. Alright, well in that case just consume an asteroid. And it ends up with a little bit more even than I had before, I think. Yeah, quite a bit more actually. 4 and a bunch of 3s. 4 3s. And the happiness is 221. The happiness is really like 168 mission points and 1600 empire points. And that is your successful culture run. With quantum sensors, culture hubs actually proving quite valuable. There were economic zones, I didn't actually really worry about them too much, but that's really what sets out, you know, the huge income once you get the culture going. But it took a little bit too long to get there. I don't know if I should have taken Genesis cells. Maybe that's the main mistake. I should have skipped out on that tech because we didn't really use Genesis cells all that much. I could have just gone for sleep replacement instantly. It might have helped. Because I don't think we earned the tax value back from, you know, the few places where we actually used it. I did think it made sense at the time because of doing a mission or something, but I could have done that in a different way and then probably ended up with more stuff.